today on the Jeep, let's go ahead and install this remote transmission cooler. Now this thing's already got a cooler on here, and as you can see, it's taken a little bit of abuse over the years, but we're going to go ahead and upgrade it here with this unit from Hayden, which actually includes a cooling fan built into it. This remote cooling system uses the most advanced stator fan design to evenly distribute air over the cooler surface for maximized cooling. This unit can be remotely mounted just like we're going to be doing here. This is actually located underneath the vehicle. That's a benefit with this thing. You can wire it up, you can plumb it to wherever you need it to be in your particular vehicle. So again, you can see I'm going to be locating this underneath the vehicle here. This is a pusher fan design, and so really it's going to fit quite nicely with the unit I'm taking out here. It should bolt right up. I can slide my hoses onto this. If desired, there's also a unit here with threaded in fittings that might work better in your application. For this particular one, we're just going to be using the hoses here. I'm going to wire this in and run it either with my electric fan for the radiator, or we could put in a Hayden controller and monitor the temperature and have this come in at our desired set point. I think for this application though, I'll have it turn on with a cooling fan. Well, first things first, with our old cooler, I'm going to go ahead and remove the hoses here. So I've got a catch pan below me, and I'm just going to use a nut driver to loosen the clamps here. We'll slide those back out of the way and pop the hoses off. Now, in order to alleviate a mess, there's a couple different things we can do here. Well, one, you let it drain. There's also maybe a lot of technicians have the connectors or adapters that came spare with a radiator installation or something like that. So it might be nice to actually, when you get these hoses off, put those connectors in between and just temporarily connect them together so it's not running all over the place. In our case today, I've got my new cooler quick and handy, and so all I'm going to do, once I pop these hoses off, I'll quick install them on the new one, and we'll swing that off to the side, temporarily hold it up here on the front axle until we were ready to mount it in place. Well, I've got my lines transferred over here, and as you can see, you got a little bit of trans fluid running out of this old cooler yet. So now there's 4 mounting bolts here, and so I'm gonna remove them, zip them off, and set the bolts aside, put these out, and we should be ready to mount our new cooler in place. Now again, as I said, that's the joy of this Hayden cooler. It can be remote mounted anywhere, especially with having that fan through it. I can put this thing in the back of the vehicle with that fan. It's going to get good airflow, especially in a race application like this. You know, pull up to staging lanes, hit the trans brake, and hold the foot to the floor. That builds a lot of transmission temperature quickly. And so the benefit with this thing having that fan on, it's going to keep the transmission fluid cool, ensure a good consistent pass, and also protect the longevity of the transmission. So, got the old cooler loose. You can see it's done its duty. It served its purpose well. Quite a bit of abuse being located underneath here. Not sure what the previous owner did, if they stuffed it in the sand at some point or something like that. So we'll be able to take our new cooler, and when we install it in here, obviously the electric pusher fan is going to be a huge asset for us, but additionally this is going to help protect and keep that rigid. So it's not going to fold over like this old, this kind of looks like an air filter. This is going to be much more rigid, better design, and help protect that cooler there. So I'm going to go ahead and mount it in place here. I'm going to wire up the fan for it, and just like that, we've got our new cooler installed. We've got this thing mounted up in place. I've wired it in, and actually I've wired this with a separate fan switch. Originally I talked about maybe mounting it with my cooling fan, but as I mentioned earlier, in a race application like this with a trans brake and a high stall converter, I want to keep this transmission cool. So essentially when I fire the Jeep up and I'm pulling in a staging lane, I can turn on this particular fan and right away start cooling down my transmission. So hopefully now you understand how you can remotely locate your Hayden cooler, but also see the benefits of getting the one with a fan on it. It certainly helps in those remote applications and in off-road applications such as this one here. Another big tip, when you're installing these, don't just use the cheap worm gear style clamps. Those will strip off, aren't going to give a good even distribution and clamping pressure. So we've got this style that's actually got a bolt and a nut through it, tightening that down. Again, hopefully now you understand the benefits and the installation process on this Hayden remote transmission cooler.